Welcome to my advanced database course. In this section, we discuss about entity relationship, ER modeling, key components of ER modeling, attribute, relationship, cardinality, and multiplicity. Steps in ER modeling. Create ER diagram. Let's enjoy. Entity relationship ER modeling is a conceptual modeling technique used in software engineering and database design to visually represent the entities, attributes, and relationships between them within a domain of interest. It helps in understanding the structure of the data and the relationships between different entities in a system. ER modeling is typically used during the initial stages of database design to capture requirements and establish a blueprint for the database schema. Key components of ER modeling. Entity. An entity represents a real-world object, concept, or thing that is relevant to the system being modeled. Entities are depicted as rectangles in an ER diagram and are labeled with singular nouns. Example: customer, product, employee. Attribute. Attributes are the properties or characteristics of entities that describe them. Each entity has one or more attributes, which are represented as ovals in an ER diagram and are labeled with descriptive names. Example: customer ID, first name, last name. Relationship. Relationships represent the associations or connections between entities. They describe how entities interact or relate to each other within the system. Relationships are depicted as lines connecting entities in an ER diagram and are labeled with verbs or verb phrases. Example: orders, manages, owns. Cardinality and multiplicity. Cardinality defines the number of instances of one entity that can be associated with the number of instances of another entity through a relationship. It specifies the minimum and maximum number of occurrences allowed in a relationship. Example: one-to-one, one-to-one, one-to-many, one-to-many, many-to-many. Primary key. A primary key is a unique identifier for each instance of an entity. It uniquely identifies each record within the entity and is used to establish relationships with other entities. In ER diagrams, primary keys are typically underlined or otherwise indicated. Steps in ER modeling. Identify entities. Identify the main entities or objects of interest within the system being modeled. These are typically nouns that represent real-world entities. Define attributes. Determine the properties or attributes of each entity. These describe the characteristics of the entities and are typically represented as fields in a database table. Establish relationships. Identify the relationships between entities. Determine how entities are related to each other and specify the cardinality and multiplicity of each relationship. Refine model. Refine the ER model by adding additional details, such as constraints, business rules, and additional entities or relationships as needed. Create ER diagram. Create an ER diagram to visually represent the entities, attributes, and relationships identified in the model. The diagram provides a clear and concise overview of the data structure and relationships within the system. ER modeling provides a systematic approach to database design, allowing designers to capture the requirements of the system and create a blueprint for the database schema. It helps in ensuring data integrity, reducing redundancy, and establishing clear relationships between entities, ultimately leading to a well-structured and efficient database design. Thanks for watching the Advanced Database Management System lesson. Hope you enjoy the lesson. To learn more about database management system, please check the next lesson. Never stop learning. Thanks once again to enjoy the lesson.